All right. Hey, everybody. I'm glad everybody got to join today. Currently, we have around 17 people in this webinar. Today's webinar is going to cover the Jetpack plugin, which is a plugin that's already installed in your Piggyback blog. This is by far one of my favorite plugins. Ken gave me a little bit of a hard time this morning and says, like, yes, you just love Jetpack, don't you? And honestly, I do, because it does everything I want it to, and I know it's a big plugin and things like that for like when it comes to custom sites. But I think that this plugin is a really beneficial piece to having things being marketed on your Piggyback blog and to make things a little bit more seamless for yourselves. So let me just go ahead and start sharing my screen. Okie doke. This is your dashboard for your Piggyback blog. Okay, we've all seen this. Hopefully, everybody that is in this webinar has at least logged into their Piggyback blog at least once, because this is a little bit more of an intermediate webinar, unlike the ones I've had previously where it's like, hey, here's how you go to make a blog post. Here's how you make a blog page. This is a little bit more in depth. The new area that you've been seeing, this whole red theme, is something that we've put into place to kind of help minimize that overwhelming feeling that a lot of clients are getting when they log in to their Piggyback blog for the first time. If you are overwhelmed by how things look, I always recommend going down to the area that says default down at the bottom, and you can switch that over to basic now, and it'll remove all those extra things that you don't need, unless you do find that you need it with a webinar like what we're talking about today. That would be under the default area, because we removed the ability to get into plugins from the basic version. All right, so first thing we're going to have to do is make sure that we activate the plugin in order for us to be able to utilize it. So for me, I would be going into plugins. And you'll see there's a long list of plugins. A lot of this stuff is in here that you'll probably never touch or ever use. I do not recommend in any way, shape, or form that you go here and try and activate every single plugin in here. It's not a good idea. Only activate things that you need. Okay? And today, that plugin that we're going to need to be talking about is the Jetpack plugin. Now, the Jetpack plugin comes from WordPress.com. If you have had a WordPress.com website, you've had some really cool little extra features, and those features aren't available to everyone that puts WordPress on their own hosting servers, or in the sense of like when we put WordPress in a big network like we have Piggyback blog. So Jetpack allows for those self-hosted or those blogs that are hosted by WordPress that aren't on WordPress.com to be able to have all those cool like little features that it didn't have without it. So if you want to activate a plugin, you just click on the word that says activate underneath the plugin you want to activate. And then at the top of your screen, you're going to see an area that says your Jetpack is almost ready. Connect to WordPress.com. Now, whenever you're going to connect to WordPress.com, you're not going to be using your logins that you use for your Piggyback blog. They're two totally different things. So WordPress.com, if you have ever used it, then you have a login. However, if you don't remember what it is, you're probably better off just going ahead and creating a new account. If you need to make a new account, there's a section up here that says, please log in into a WordPress.com account. Need an account? ? Just click it and start the process of making an account for yourself. Usually it'll try to predict what you want it to be. Like it grabbed one of my email addresses and it's like, hey, you've already registered this. And then you create your username and your password. It's going to send you a confirmation to your email that you're going to have to click on to make sure you are who you say you are, and then you'll be able to go and finish up where we are here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my WordPress username and password. Hopefully I remember it correctly. Apparently not. Let me try one more time. Sorry about that. Oh, wait. Never mind. I was right. Okay. So then you're taken back into your Piggyback blog. Okay. So, yay, you have successfully connected your WordPress, your Piggyback blog to Jetpack. So you're now available to use all these super awesome features that are inside here. So the first awesome thing, without even having to do anything else, is that it gives you the ability to track your stats. WordPress.com will track the stats and the clicks that you have for all your blog posts and blog pages inside of your Piggyback blog. Now, this won't bring over any clicks or anything like that from your e-agency website. That's why it's good to use this alongside of something like Google Analytics or something like that. But I mean, this is where all your real content is going to be going anyway, so you might as well see how things are going. And the nice thing is it all gets displayed on your homepage. Now, it's not going to show anything here right now because it doesn't know anything yet. So give it a day or two, and then it will actually have some stats for you then in the site stats area. All right, so let's go back into Jetpack. You'll notice that it has its own little area in your menu now underneath their dashboard. So if you click on Jetpack, it's going to take me back to the page that I was already in. Okie doke. So there's custom CSS that becomes available. So if there's something that you want to modify on your site that you know code, then you're able to change that without things changing on our entire network. And you can also manipulate that where it says appearance, edit CSS. So this area is already activated as well. Okay, if you go down to view all Jetpack features, it'll open up and show you all these cool little things that are going on inside here. Some people have asked me about how they can encourage people to subscribe to their blog, so that once they post something new, then it gets sent out to your subscribers. That would be inside this plugin. So if you want to click on subscriptions, a pop-up is going to come up that asks that you configure it. Now, inside of any of these pop-ups, you can read about what each little feature inside your Jetpack plugin does. So like this one, it allows you to add a widget to your sidebar that allows for people to put in their email address, and you can sign up and receive updates whenever your blog changes. So if you want to, you can click on the configure button at the bottom, and you'll see the Jetpack subscription settings down here at the bottom. All these features create something within the settings area usually, so if you don't want to go and change things up within Jetpack, you can usually go through the settings area and find it there as well. So whenever people subscribe, you can either decide for them to follow the blog or they can follow comments in a comment form. So there's a lot of different options. So let's just go ahead and click the Save Changes, and let's try to see what we can do about putting a subscribe widget in place. So if we go under Appearance, Widgets, this is the area where you can manipulate what shows up on your sidebar. And your sidebar is, let me just show you real quick. This is what you call your sidebar, this whole area over here. So you can see recent posts, recent comments, archives, meta. Recent posts, recent comments, archives, meta. Okie doke. So if we wanted to add in that subscription thing that we just activated, let's see, where is it? All right, blog subscriptions, right there. And then you click it, and it'll ask you which sidebar. You only have one, so you click Add Widget, and it'll add it there. It's going to have default content in place. You can change any of that up. You can drag it and drop it to change the order in your sidebar as well. And then all you do is click Save. So then we can go and refresh our site. And then we can see the subscribe widget showing up. So people are able to go to my blog now. They're able to come in here, put in their email address, and click subscribe. Any of the users, whenever they go in there and they do this, they're going to see this. It's going to automatically subscribe them, and they're going to get an email ensuring them that they do or do not want to receive these updates. Okay, so back to Jetpack, some more awesome features we want to go through. One other big one that a lot of people ask about is this, not that one, where is it? Publicize is a big component to like sharing your content that you've created in your blog onto your social media networks. Publicize will connect to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, a bunch of different avenues, and this guy is so cool. It the second you press publish, it will automatically send your post out to all of those different networks, and you won't have to copy the URL and then paste it 4 or 5 different times. So let's go ahead and click configure for this one. And this takes you into the settings sharing area. So you can see there's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Path, and Google Plus in here to play with. So if I want to connect to my Facebook page, my business page, instead of my profile, then I can go to do that as well. But just so you know, so it doesn't freak you out whenever it asks, it has to connect to your profile before it can see that you have these pages that you're in control of. So I'm going to go ahead and click one. I'm not sure if you're able to see it because it's a pop-up on my screen. It tries to protect my content on my computer, which is really nice. So I'm able to connect as, my business page, or I can go and connect with Twitter and just authorize it. And you can make it available to all your users, which isn't necessary in any way, shape, or form unless you actually have other users on your blog. I mean, that's not a big deal otherwise. So that's how you would set these up. But the big way to see if whether or not they're set up properly is whenever you're creating a new post or page, there's now an area to the side where it says publish, where it says it's going to publicize your post to Facebook, this page, Twitter, this username. You can even go in here and edit these if I want that one to go out to Facebook but not Twitter. And you can customize the message that it's going to say even. So when you click publish, it's going to automatically just send it out to all of the ones that are listed under publicize. So that's a huge one. A lot of people like that. I use it a lot because it really takes a lot out of you to write all those blog posts, and then after all of that, go in and also, have to copy this URL and send it to this place. It's just easier to have it all happen automatically. Easy peasy. All right, so another awesome feature on Jetpack. Another one of my favorites would be the tiled galleries. Now, without tiled galleries being available, there's only a couple of photo gallery options that are there already for you. So I'm going to leave it off and then show you what one of these looks like what a photo gallery looks like automatically. Okay, so if we go inside here and we click Add Media, and we want to create a gallery, and we pick all of our images, and then we create a gallery. What I'm meaning is that there's a section here that says Type. So, well, it's already activated, but originally you only have thumbnail grid as an option when it comes to doing a photo gallery. And a photo gallery with the thumbnail grid looks like this. While it is a lot nicer than having 3 images side by side, they're all considered medium size, it's still not very pretty. I mean, it's prettier, but it's not very pretty. So if we wanted to go in and change how it's displaying, we can do so by clicking on the gallery that we've created and then clicking on the edit button, which is the little pin mark over to the side. And we go under Type, and we'd click Tiled Mosaic. Now, this is my favorite one. I'm going to go ahead and put this in random order, too. and click Update the Gallery. Let me go and show you what this one looks like now. All right, so a tiled gallery makes everything kind of fit into place. Some photos will be full size, full width. Some of them will be half, and some of them will stack. I just think that it's a lot like design friendly or pretty in a sense. Like it's my favorite to use altogether. On top of that, it also makes the circles one available for you to use. So this will make each image into a circle, which is pretty whenever you need to utilize something like that. And then it also allows you to have it as a slideshow. So it'll show up like this, and you can scroll through it. And then one last one, I believe, and that would be square tiles. And while this will look kind of like the original one did, but they're all put together, so it still has the nice hover effect for your captions. So it's all these options that became available when we activated tiled galleries inside of Jetpack are a lot nicer looking than what comes default for your photo galleries. Another thing inside here that a lot of people use is the button that says sharing. Here it is. Now there's another plugin inside your plugins area that allows you to put in share buttons, but this one is already in the plugin that you've activated. So why have two plugins do something that they do the same thing? So why have two? So if we go and configure this one, this is in the same area under the sharing settings area. So you'll see that there's the sharing buttons. You can drag and drop either ones you want to use. So you can be like, oh, press this. That means that they can add it to WordPress. There we go. There we go. Yay, it worked now. Okay, so if we do StumbleUpon and Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest, we can decide if we want them to look like this, where it says the icon and the text, or we can do icon only, or we can do text only, or we can do the official buttons. I like the icon only. And you can change the label where it says share this. You can go show your friends. We can have it to where it opens in the same window or in a new window. We can decide if we want it on the posts and the pages and all the media. And you can have Twitter site tag, which you would just have to put your username in place. So let's go and click save. And I didn't click where I wanted this to be. I wanted it to be in posts and in pages. So save it again. So if we go and we view our blog, all right, so when you're on the index, you're not going to see the share buttons in place. But if you click into the actual blog post, you'll see down at the bottom, this will be inside here. So someone will be able to click this and be like, hey, I'm going to share this with my friends so that they can go and read it as well. And if you don't decide not to set up publicize, then you can go in and share yourself like how your users would be able to. All right, back into Jetpack again. A lot of people have asked about utilizing the WordPress application that you're able to install on your cell phone. WordPress has an app that works on both iPhone and on Android phones. I believe that you do have to have it connected with Jetpack in order to be able to utilize that. You may also have to have the post by email section activated as well. I think it says yay or nay whenever you try to connect, and that's usually what it's asking for, is the post by email. And for some people, this is going to be kind of a good one. I don't use this because I prefer using the actual content generation area inside of WordPress itself. But post by email allows you to have a specific email address that you can send an email to, and it'll make it into a blog post. So there it is. Post by email, email address, enable post by email. And this would be the email address that I would send emails to if I wanted to make a blog post by email. So you would just add that to your contact list, and if you wanted to just right away, you could. If anybody wants to utilize writing content from their tablet or their phone, you can still go to your Piggyback blog through there. WordPress is mobile friendly, just like how any of your responsive refreshes are as well. And there's also the carousel. So let's go ahead and click that and activate it. I believe that is another way to view photo galleries. I believe it was actually the slideshow that we had activated. So if you don't see that whenever you just click on tiled galleries, then that would be why. Oh, one other one. Widget visibility. Now, if you haven't been playing with menus or with your widget area for your sidebar, wait, I don't want to deactivate it. I want to activate it. Then most people wouldn't know the purpose for this, but I like this for within community pages, because you can add like a section, a sidebar area that will only show on a specific page. So, like if you wanted to decide for it to list all the communities that are inside that one city, so that they don't have to go back and go to your place that you had all your links at, then they could just have it accessible straight from the sidebar. So in order to set up a secondary menu to add to a widget, you can do it under menus. And let's say community, and then click create menu. So I'm going to put Prairie Home inside of this menu and click save menu. And then we're going to go under widgets, and we're going to add a custom menu to it. And then we're going to go communities and select the menu that I want to show. Okay, the button that's different than we activated through Jetpack is this one right here, where it says visibility. So if you click visibility, you can say whether or not you want something to show or hide if the user is on a category, a specific author, a user, a role, a tag, a date, or a page. So I'm going to say if you're on this page, if you're on the page about the team, then you're going to see the communities menu in the sidebar. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, and I'm going to put it up a little bit higher. So I'm going to go to the page that I just said. So it's just to differentiate. So if we're in this blog post, the menu I added isn't over here, okay? But if we go to the page about the team, then you'll see the menu in place. See the difference? Also, this is a really awesome community page. I mean, about the page. Okay, so is that about it as far as the things that I recommend on the Jetpack plugin that are definite, like, go-to things to play with? To me, those are honestly the big things that you definitely would use and are really awesome inside a Jetpack. What I'm going to do, because I've almost filled the first 30 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody's um, mics. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them. Or if you want to ask the questions through the chat, that's totally fine as well. I'll get to any questions that are asked, okay? So let me go ahead and unmute everybody. All right, everybody. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them. If there aren't any questions within the next 3 or 4 minutes by voice and I'm still hearing feedback from this other mic, then I'm going to end up turning the mics back off. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask them. I know that I regularly get some scheduled appointments after these webinars, and I'd love to be able to answer your questions so that everybody else can benefit from them at the same time.
Apparently these people, I don't know how many's living there, but they don't complain, they pay the rent.
All right, I'm gonna mute the mics again. If you have a question, please add it to the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have a question, all you have to do is click the little chat bubble at the top of your screen, and then your little chat window will open up, and you can type your question in there. I know I've helped a lot of people set up Jetpack, and I use it regularly in my own personal usage. But this is really important, I think, for marketing your own blog posts. Someone says, does this work on custom sites as well as e-agency? Yes, it does, most definitely. The Jetpack plugin is there for anyone that has a WordPress website that is outside of the WordPress.com realm. So if you have a custom website, Jetpack is a great solution for you as well. You'll be able to blast out all your posts to all your social media networks. You'll be able to utilize those tiled galleries and everything. I think it's a great option. I use it on my own personal custom sites as well. Does anyone else have any other questions? How does different business pages work on Facebook? Viewer 24, can you clarify what you mean by that? Do you mean by the Jetpack? I'm thinking it can only post out to one actual business page on Facebook at a time. It can only connect to one. As far as I'm concerned, I've only been able to have it connect to one. I mean, one page. I would say one page. It will only work with one business page inside of Facebook. So I would say whichever one is being focused as far as this blog post is concerned. Most people don't have multiple Facebook business pages. So if you have one that's focused on luxury and one that's not, then if your blog is you have that one blog and it's mostly talking about luxury stuff, have it post to the actual luxury Facebook business page. All right. How do I add pages that I have created in WordPress to my e-agency responsive refresh site menu? Viewer 47, would you mind letting me know your name? I can help you out with that. And I have that question quite often, so it'd be great to be able to show everybody how to do that. Monica, a last name would be good. Monica and Jean, is this Mock? All right, 47, Scott Johnson. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll pull up your information and we'll log into your site, okay? So this is Scott's blog. All right, I'm getting there. Takes me a few minutes. I don't want to show everybody your username and password for everything. And your KW login has changed. If you could, at the bottom of your chat window, there's a way to send a message just to me. If you want, because otherwise I'm not able to go in and change it. We purchased 2 refresh to e-agency today, so we want to move content. Oh, okay, gotcha. I got you, Jean and Monica. I'll help y'all out a little bit in just a second, okay? All right, so just to make it a little bit easier, actually I have to log out of this account that I'm in. All right. All right, it's thinking I'm still logged into the other account. Either way, if you're wanting to change out a page and add it to an e-agency website, you're going to have to grab the URL for this actual page. Let me just see if I can grab someone else's login so I can just show you the inside area that you need to get to in order to add that. I apologize for not being prepared. Okay. Once you get logged into your e-agency website, you're able to go under Technology, e-agency agent websites, and go and click Start updating your agent website with the admin tool. So that opens up your admin tool. Eventually. Okay, so this is your agent admin tool. This is like your best friend for changing your menu area of your website currently. Under section 3.0, there's an area under 3.1 that says Customize Website Navigation. Okay, so inside here, these are the current links that are on the nav. But we want to add something to it from our blog, which means we have to do it as an additional link. So it automatically will say add additional link for the add or edit area. For the title, you'll need to add in something descriptive If you're adding it in as a community, I just suggest putting just the community name. Um, and you have categories that you can put things in, or you can add categories under additional category area. So I'm just going to add, I'm going to look like I'm adding it because I don't want to add it to this person's actual account. So I'm just going to go in and copy the link address for About the Team. And I would just put About the Team. If it's coming from your Piggyback blog, it looks to a user like you're utilizing the same website. So always say it's the same window. And then you would paste in the URL that you grabbed from the blog. And then you would click Save. If the save works, then you're going to see Save Settings area pop up underneath the previous button that's here. And that's how you add it there. And then your last step will be that you need to go to the dashboard of your Piggyback blog. And there's an area there that says Change Up Your eAgency website, refresh your blog here. And usually this will have your URL that you've been utilizing for your website already listed. And you just click on the button that says Refresh. And Jean and Monica, if you're wanting to just move content, if you're moving content from eAgency to your Piggyback blog, that's a little different. Or if you're moving things from your actual Piggyback blog to a custom WordPress site, that's something as a whole another barrel of worms. In order to do that, there are some people that have left Piggyback blogs and want to keep their content. The way that you do that, I usually do this for a lot of our clients, but there is a way for you to do it as well. It's not something that I'm the only person that has access to. But there's this area here that says Tools, and there's an Import-Export area. So if you want to take any of the content that is, well, everything, from your Piggyback blog to somewhere else, which I actually don't recommend unless you're going to not use Piggyback blog anymore because you don't want duplicate content on the internet. But if you want to grab it, you click Export, and I always just click All Content, and then you download an export file. It'll download to your computer as a .xml file, and if you use another WordPress site, you can just go under Import then, and then click WordPress, and then select that file, and it'll bring everything in for you. If you're moving everything from eAgency to your Piggyback blog, that's a lot of copying and pasting of content that you already put in place. I only suggest taking the content that you actually wrote and leaving anything that is default Keller Williams content, because everybody and their mom has that indexed on Google already. Do we have any other questions? You're welcome. Should I move all of my original content to WordPress to make the change to Play Store easier? Yes. You should move as much content as possible into your Piggyback blog, and everything that's in there should be pretty easy to move from one place to the other, because it's going to be going from this version of WordPress to their version of WordPress. They should have the import-export option available for us, and we plan on doing that for our clients. So if everything's already there, then you're not going to be losing any of your content that's already in your eAgency website. That's been a key thing for us. We don't want you to lose your content, because the content is what's important. And I know that Ken has been also preaching that blogging now is really important as well, because right now the people that have Piggyback blogs are the only people that currently have blogging for Keller Williams agents. When we move to Play Store, everybody has access to blog, because everybody will have access to will be working under the WordPress umbrella. Just like, people that have had Piggyback blog had the option to do for years now. And then, of course, you're going to want to, relink everything in your menu so that it goes to the blog instead. Can you show me how to copy a neighborhood page from my e-agency to my Piggyback blog? What I would do under the pages area, most people have their neighborhood pages listed underneath here. You can click in to edit those pages, and this is what that page looks like. Now, there's a whole area down here where, it's kind of like just like whenever you add a page or post inside of your Piggyback blog, that it shows you whether or not something's a link or not. If you click on source, you'll actually see the code that makes it into a link. What I would do is I would copy the content here and then go and create a page inside here. And then instead of pasting it where you see visual on this tab here, click the one that says text, because this makes it code. So you're able to put in the code where it looks like this, and then it'll turn into actual stuff like it looked over here. That way you're not having to recreate any links that you've already made and things like that. However, if your photos that you have inside of your neighborhood pages on eAgency are housed within the eAgency photo library, just save them to your computer again and then upload them properly under your WordPress install for Piggyback blogs over here, so it's actually your content then, and it's inside your Piggyback blog instead of inside your eAgency photo library. That's how I would do it. There are a lot of different ways to change the hierarchy of pages so that they sit a little nicer URL wise. But the main all that stuff can change though. The main thing is to get the content over, and that's how I would do it. I would do it from the source over into the text. Okay, and do you know if Playster will allow Jetpack? I honestly don't know yet. It'd be awesome if they did, but they have their own plans for everything over there, and we won't know anything probably until after family reunion, as far as what the inner workings are more going to look like. And that it's not expected to be full-fledged until about a year from now. And, there's also a possibility they may have their own solutions for the kind of things that Jetpack makes available. So who really knows? But, if it, who knows? So if Piggyback blog posts are posted to social media, what happens to the posts when they transfer from Piggyback to Playster? Well, the posts will still exist, and most of the time they'll still carry the same URL. But I can't predict how things are going to happen with the Playster transfer. But if I would just say if you're about to move over to Playster, maybe not post them out to the social media until after the changeover has happened, so you know what's going on and whether or not the links will still work properly. We have WolfNet indexable listings in our eAgency site. Neighborhood pages can we still copy and paste? Yes, and actually there's a couple of ways to make neighborhood pages even better with WolfNet by utilizing their indexable, got tongue-tied, indexable listings inside of the blog by using the WolfNet WordPress plugin instead of just having an iframe or something like that, which is probably what you have set up if it's inside of eAgency. I have another tutorial on that. I'll send it to you guys, Jane and Monica. I'll send you the tutorial that I have for setting up community pages inside of the Piggyback blog, utilizing that WolfNet WordPress plugin. Well, I'll actually just link everyone to it right now. Okay, so we have a full playlist of just piggyback blog tutorials, and the one I'm talking about is this one right here. So that makes it really easy for all you guys. You're able to just click it and go straight to it and save it in your bookmarks or whatever you want to do. That should also give you the ability to keep listening, and then you'll see more and more tutorials coming through there as well. If you notice inside of your dashboard on your website now, whenever you log into your Piggyback blog, these tutorials are also available for you on the dashboard. You can click and go through the rest of them. The first one's obviously going to be your first blog post. So if you ever have any kind of questions, they're usually already available right there if you want to take a look. You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate all the questions today, and I hope that everyone successfully activates and gets Jetpack going on their Piggyback blogs or on their custom websites. If you have any questions or you have any issues with it, just remember the first question I always get is your logins don't work for the WordPress.com Connect. It is different than your Piggyback blog logins are. But if you have any other questions other than that, you can always feel free to send me an email, and I'd love to help you out. There is also abilities for you to schedule any appointments with me at any time. I like having one-on-one time with my clients so that I can, help them learn better. And the link to do that with is this. And my email address, the link to be able to schedule a time with me, the link to our previous webinars, and the link to all of our Piggyback blog tutorials is all available at the top of the email that I sent this morning talking about this webinar. So I really hope that everybody learned a lot, and I'll see you again next week with something new. All right. Thanks, guys.